How can the UN better protect civilians in complex war zones? Imagine a place where chaos reigns and innocent lives hang in the balance. That's what many war zones look like today. The United Nations has a big role in trying to keep civilians safe. But how can it do better? Let's explore some ways. First, the UN needs to give peacekeeping missions clear and strong mandates. These mandates should allow peacekeepers to use necessary force to protect civilians. That means they can act quickly if civilians are in danger. Peacekeepers often work with soldiers, police, and aid workers all together. This teamwork helps create a safer environment for everyone. The mandates should also be flexible, so they can change as situations change on the ground. Next, the UN should use a three-step plan to protect civilians. First, support political efforts to solve the root causes of violence. Second, provide direct physical protection, like patrolling dangerous areas or setting up safe zones. Third, work on creating a safe environment for the long term. This approach helps prevent violence before it starts and responds quickly when it does. It is also very important for the UN to follow the rules of international humanitarian law. These laws, like the Geneva Conventions, say civilians must not be targeted and their rights must be respected. The principle of distinction says parties in conflict must tell apart civilians from soldiers. The principle of proportionality says any harm to civilians should be minimized and only happen if absolutely necessary for military reasons. The UN can help by monitoring violations and pushing for accountability when laws are broken. Another way the UN can help is by setting up safe zones like hospitals or shelters. These zones are protected areas where vulnerable people, such as the wounded, women, children, and displaced persons, can find safety. These zones need cooperation from all parties involved in the conflict. The UN and humanitarian groups can support and supervise these zones to reduce civilian casualties. Coordination among different actors is key. The UN peacekeepers must work closely with the local government and other humanitarian groups. This can include joint patrols, sharing information, and calming tensions. When everyone works together, it is easier to respond to threats and keep civilians safe. Finally, the UN must stay flexible. Conflicts change quickly, and threats can cross borders. The UN should improve early warning systems to spot problems early. It should also be ready to respond fast and keep political support strong from the Security Council. This helps maintain effective protection even in complicated situations. In short, the UN can better protect civilians by having strong peacekeeping mandates, using a clear protection plan, respecting international laws, creating safe zones, working well with others, and staying adaptable. These steps help make sure civilians are safer during the chaos of war.